Hello everyone, and in today's video we shall understand what is predictive modeling, what is predictive analysis, the difference between them, and a few examples to understand them better. So let's start with predictive modeling. So as the name suggests, it is concerned with predicting the outcomes, making models using algorithms, and with the help of these algorithms you build various models, right? So this involves model building process, and the process involves data collection, transformation. You build a model, we evaluate this model using machine learning matrices, and then we can make inferences. So we've done this entire process of predictive modeling in various videos of machine learning projects. Do visit the playlist for that. So now I'll move on to the basic crux of this is to predict the outcome. And moving on this to the next is that predictive modeling, there are two types of model basically, parametric and non-parametric. So parametric, that means it makes certain assumptions, and non-parametric model means it is not making much assumptions. So we'll cover this in detail in coming up videos. So for now, let's just understand the another topic, which is predictive analysis. Now, predictive analysis, as the name suggests, it is dealing with the analysis part of data. That means it is analytical in nature. It analyzes, or I can say that the analysis is done of the historical trends, reviews, ratings, and various transactions, the feedbacks. That is what is being analyzed, and crucial insights and decisions are being taken based on these reviews or historical trends that has been taking over past decades. So it finds really great applications in various domains, and we shall explore it further. And it uses statistical tools and methods which are available, and data mining techniques to derive useful insights and analysis from the data. So now we move on to something called predictive analysis a little bit in detail. What is the process? Now, here the process involves that you define the project, you define the problem statement, what you really want, you collect the data, the specific data for that, and then you apply those statistical tools and methods to derive statistical information from it. And then there is model monitoring as to how the decisions were being taken and is it really up to the expectations. Now, I come to the statistical tools, and here we have this the type of predictive analysis. So there are basically three types of predictive analysis, which we deemed as predictive models, descriptive models, and decision models. Now, with the name itself, it is very clear that predictive models are for making predictions, getting some useful insights from the data, and it is making predictions. But we are not using algorithms here for making predictions. We are just using statistical tools for making predictions here. Descriptive model is giving you certain description about the data, like box plot, histogram, the relation, the correlation, the covariance, and things like that. And decision models is just you make decisions based on the data, what it is saying, reading the numbers, what the values are saying, and how can we really use this value for future growth and crucial business insights. So now let's move on to examples of it, and they are really interesting. I'll walk first, or let us just understand predictive modeling examples, and I'll walk you through this health care sector first. So we've done this in our projects that we have built predictive models to detect the cancer cells, Wisconsin data set, wherein we have to predict whether the cancer or tumor is benign or malignant. There is another data set which is to predict diabetes, whether person will have diabetes in near future or not. And given we were given various parameters, and you have to predict whether there is diabetes or not. Then to predict whether the person will have a heart disease or not, depending on the various features that we have. And this is not limited to just these three. There is a huge application of predictability of the model, and it can be used in various sectors also, but I'm limiting myself to just two examples. Now, next we come to the insurance sector. Here, it is widely used that because you want to detect the risk early, any early risk which has been associated with your insurance plans and policies. You predict premium and losses, and it is very useful to detect the fraud. So, you have this fraud detection and predicting whether the person will default or not. So, in credit card industry, it is good to minimize losses by using predictive analysis, right? And modeling too. So now we move on to our predictive analysis examples. And again, we come to two exciting and very interesting examples. The first one is weather forecasting. So now I'll walk you through what the weather forecasting. This has a huge implication. What happens here is that we can measure variables like temperature, wind speed, humidity, wind direction, pressure, etc. And you just, with the stakeholders involved, you can just analyze the impact this weather forecasting analysis makes and various domains like agriculturists will want it, farmers would need this information so that they can take decisions about the crops, how much water to give, when to give, which crop to plant now, which seed to go for now, based on the weather predictions. Because in India, especially, this agriculture is a gamble, and farmers are really the risk takers here. Then scientists also are very much benefited by this weather forecasting, meteorological department for making predictions of any disasters well in advance. The disaster management teams are also being alerted with this weather forecast, and they can be equipped and very alert, making people really, um, I would say, really ready for any facing any disaster or unforeseeable future. Then you have got one important implication is in climate change activists and researchers. So we've got various United Nations conference on climate change talks like COP21, that was in Paris peace talks, wherein climate change was a big issue and many treaties were being signed for climate change. So weather forecasting can really help United Nations also to come up with various analysis and analyze the past trend, taking into consideration the weather forecasting, the weather data over the years, the decades, and how it has really changed the today's scenario, the carbon footprint, and the real pollution which we are facing right now because of carbon burden. The ecosystem is really been worstly affected now. So, weather forecasting really helps in making crucial decisions in our day to day life, also sensing the impact it has on various domains. Now we move on to retail sector. This is the biggest sector which uses this predictive analysis, and this has various, like we use it in we see it with Walmart, Amazon, any of the retail sites online. They use it now and then to target customers, to map their choices and preferences. They just go through the history of the user's choice and preferences and make recommendations based on those choices. And what happens as a result is that their sales improve and you get loyal customers, there's customer retention, you get profit, and you're really popular. That's what you want, that you stick to the customers stick to you, and there's a win-win situation for both. So retail, it really uses this predictive analysis. And there are various other examples too, but for the sake of the video's length, I have taken just two in each. So now, thanks for listening and watching, and stay tuned for more interesting and exciting videos. Thank you.